Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins All World. The story of the 1997 Canadian 1-cent coin is one that blends mystery, rarity, and incredible collector appeal, turning an ordinary penny into a symbol of hidden fortune. While most 1-cent coins from this year were produced in the millions, a tiny handful became astonishingly rare because of unique minting circumstances that slipped through unnoticed at first. The 1997 penny might look like any other with the familiar maple leaf design, yet what sets certain examples apart are minute details tied to minting errors and variations. Collectors who specialize in Canadian coinage are always on the lookout for such distinctions, because they transform a simple coin into a legendary piece of numismatic history. This coin's background lies in the transitional period when Canada was shifting production methods and experimenting with different planchets. That changeover, though technical, created the perfect storm for a rare version of the 1997 cent to emerge. The public, at the time, had no idea that one of the smallest coins in circulation could carry such extraordinary potential. As years passed, coin enthusiasts began to notice that among the billions of 1-cent coins struck, a few examples stood apart. They had unusual characteristics that didn't align with the rest of the mintage, and slowly stories of their scarcity began to circulate in the collecting community. Unlike common cents that passed unnoticed through pockets and jars, the rare 1997 cent survived in pristine condition, preserved either by sheer luck or by sharp-eyed collectors who sensed its unusual nature. Condition and rarity together pushed its value far beyond the face amount stamped on the coin. Experts in Canadian numismatics often describe this coin as one of the ultimate sleepers in modern coinage, hiding in plain sight for years until research and auctions revealed its true importance. The 1997 cent now stands as an example of how even modern coins can reach legendary status if rarity and demand align. Stories from collectors reveal how people once dismissed these coins as ordinary pocket change, only later to realize their mistake. A 1997 cent that looks common at first glance may, in fact, be worth more than gold if it happens to be the rare variety in top condition. Auction houses in Canada and internationally have since brought this coin to center stage, where bidding wars capture headlines. Each time a rare 1997 cent appears on the market, excitement ripples through the numismatic world, and values continue to climb. For most Canadians, the penny is a memory now that production has ceased, but for collectors, the 1997 issue has become a timeless treasure. Its story is not only about scarcity but also about the thrill of discovery, reminding everyone that great value can sometimes be found in the most ordinary of places. The current record for the rarest 1997 Canadian 1-cent coin places its value at an astounding $1.2 million, a figure that highlights just how desirable it has become among serious collectors. That valuation cements its place among the most valuable coins ever struck in Canadian history. The legend of this coin continues to grow as more people learn of its existence, inspiring casual hobbyists and expert collectors alike to search their coin jars, hoping to uncover one. The allure of the 1997 cent lies not just in its financial worth, but also in the hope it represents for hidden treasures waiting to be found. Even today, conversations about the rare 1997 penny spark curiosity and amazement, proving that a coin so small can hold a story so large. It remains a masterpiece of rarity, chance, and collector passion, a piece of Canadian history whose value is measured in both money and fascination. In 1992, the Royal Canadian Mint created a series of coins to celebrate the 125th anniversary of Canada's Confederation, and among them was the 1-cent coin, a small copper-plated piece that most people never gave much thought to. But within this ordinary production run, something extraordinary happened, and a tiny handful of cents became some of the rarest in the history of Canadian coinage. In 1992, collectors and experts discovered that a very small number of these 1-cent coins carried an unusual striking, the kind of detail that should never have left the mint. The minting error combined with the anniversary date made these coins stand out, and the few that survived soon became highly prized by serious numismatists. In 1992, most Canadians spent their pennies without looking closely, but in rare cases a misstruck or misaligned die resulted in a coin that bore features slightly different from the intended design. These details, invisible to the casual eye, are what transformed an everyday coin into a museum-worthy artifact. In 1992, the Royal Canadian Mint did not publicly announce any such variations, yet specialists in Canadian coins began to record their existence. As word spread, interest in tracking down these elusive cents grew, and a quiet market began to develop where collectors would pay thousands just to own one. In 1992, the cent was also nearing the end of its long history, with rising production costs making it increasingly uneconomical. That gave these rare varieties an extra layer of cultural significance, because they represented not just an era but also the final years of a coin that had been part of Canadian life for over a century. In 1992, the rarity was so extreme that some experts estimated only a handful of authentic examples exist. This scarcity is what drives their astronomical value, since collectors measure worth not only by condition and metal but also by how impossible it is to find another coin of the same type. In 1992, coin shows and auctions occasionally brought whispers of these elusive cents, with private sales fetching numbers that startled even seasoned dealers. Stories began to circulate of coins passed down unknowingly in jars of change, later revealed to be once-in-a-lifetime discoveries. In 1992, most families would never have guessed that a simple penny in their pocket change might secretly hold enough value to change lives. That mystery and surprise are part of what makes numismatics so compelling, where history, error, and luck converge in a single small artifact. In 1992, what mattered most to collectors was authentication, since counterfeiters often try to reproduce rare coins. The true rarity could only be confirmed by experts who examined die marks, strike quality, and other microscopic features, ensuring that only genuine coins reached the upper levels of the market. In 1992, the most valuable of these rare 1-cent coins has reached auction values as high as $1.5 million, an astonishing figure considering the coin's original worth of just a single cent. This incredible leap shows how history and rarity can transform pocket change into a world-class treasure. In 1992, such coins became symbols of chance and discovery, reminding people that even the smallest items in circulation might hold secrets of immense value. Collectors often describe the thrill of searching their coins not just as a hobby but as a way of touching hidden history. In 1992, the rare cent story continues to fascinate new generations, because it embodies both national heritage and the unpredictable magic of collecting. What was once dismissed as everyday currency now stands as one of the rarest treasures in Canadian numismatic history, carrying with it the weight of fortune, history, and chance. The 1991 Canadian 1-cent coin has gained legendary status among collectors, not because of its age, but because of its sheer rarity. While millions of pennies were struck in Canada through the years, the 1991 issue tells a completely different story that makes it stand apart from the rest. In that year, the Royal Canadian Mint made a surprising decision to cut down drastically on the number of 1-cent coins produced. This was mainly due to a surplus from the previous years and the realization that demand was slowing. As a result, the 1991 penny became incredibly scarce in circulation. Unlike most coins that are mass-produced in staggering numbers, the 1991 penny saw only a tiny fraction of mintage compared to other years. This instantly created a condition where collectors knew that finding even a single piece would become extremely difficult. The design itself remained unchanged, featuring the maple leaf twig by George Kruger Gray on the reverse, and the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. But it was the limited mintage, not the artwork, that cemented its importance in Canadian numismatic history. Many Canadians who used pennies daily during the early 1990s would never realize they had something so rare in their pockets. The 1991 coin blended in seamlessly with the rest, quietly circulating without drawing attention to its hidden value. As years passed, collectors began to realize the scarcity of the 1991 penny. Unlike other low-mintage coins that were hoarded early, this one circulated for some time, which meant surviving examples in pristine condition became even harder to find. What makes the 1991 coin especially desirable is not just its low mintage, but the condition in which it exists today. Coins in mint state or near perfect condition are virtually non-existent in circulation, making professionally graded examples the crown jewels of collections. This combination of historical circumstance, rarity, and condition has caused the coin to develop an almost mythical reputation among Canadian coin collectors. When a rare 1991 penny appears in the marketplace, it sparks excitement and intense bidding wars. Stories of its rarity have spread beyond numismatic circles, with casual enthusiasts and everyday Canadians now keeping an eye on their old change, hoping to discover a 1991 penny tucked away in jars or drawers. In terms of value, the 1991 1-cent coin in top-graded condition has been reported to sell for an astonishing $1.9 million, a figure that seems almost unbelievable for a coin. Originally worth a single cent, this immense value reflects not just scarcity, but also the demand from collectors worldwide who are eager to own a piece of Canadian monetary history. It shows how a simple decision at the mint decades ago has transformed a coin into an object of desire worth millions. The 1991 penny has transcended its role as pocket change to become one of the most talked about treasures in Canadian coin collecting, forever reminding us that sometimes the smallest coins carry the biggest stories. In 1989, the Royal Canadian Mint produced millions of 1-cent coins, but within this large production, a few anomalies slipped through that would go on to become legends among collectors. The 1989 penny might seem ordinary at first glance, yet the history behind a small number of rare variations has made it one of the most talked about pieces in Canadian numismatics. During 1989, Canada's minting technology was evolving, and errors often appeared as a byproduct of experimentation. Some coins from this year show unusual die cracks, misstrikes, or unique metal tones, each detail transforming them from everyday change into coveted treasures. These characteristics make them stand out from the billions of standard pennies circulating across the country. Collectors point out that the 1989 penny holds a special place in Canadian history because it was produced during the late years of the copper composition. This was before the major shift to zinc-plated steel in the following decade, giving it both historical and material importance. The balance of scarcity and timing is what elevates its status. Stories circulate about how a tiny fraction of these coins left the mint with distinct doubling on the date or lettering, small design flaws invisible to most, yet priceless to those who recognize them. These flaws serve as fingerprints, ensuring authenticity and rarity, the exact traits that drive passionate collectors to pay extraordinary sums. The 1989 penny is also admired because it symbolizes a moment when Canadian currency was entering its final era of widespread penny use. This coin now carries the nostalgia of a denomination that Canada has since eliminated, turning the rare surviving specimens into cultural artifacts as well as financial assets. Among collectors, the hunt for a pristine 1989 specimen is ongoing. High-grade examples, especially those with mint state certification, rarely come to market. When they do, bidding wars can erupt, driving the prices higher each time. The rarity, paired with condition, determines the true level of desirability. This rarity is further magnified by the fact that so many ordinary 1989 cents were spent, worn down, and eventually melted after the penny's discontinuation. Very few untouched examples remain, and even fewer with the rare errors or striking anomalies that distinguish them. Scarcity fuels value, and scarcity is what the 1989 cent delivers in abundance. The coin's story has grown beyond numismatics, often appearing in news headlines whenever one is sold for record-breaking prices. Each sale inspires new collectors to search through old jars and family coin boxes, hoping to find that elusive gem hidden among common pennies. The legend only deepens with time. It is remarkable how such a small piece of copper from 1989 has transformed into a symbol of luck, discovery, and wealth. Many collectors describe it not just as a coin, but as a piece of living history, linking generations of Canadians to their country's monetary past. The value of the rarest 1989 Canadian 1 cent is now estimated at around $2 million, an astonishing sum for what was once pocket change. This figure reflects not only its rarity and condition but also the growing fascination with coins that carry both historical and emotional weight. This staggering price makes it one of the most valuable pennies in the world, rivaling other famous coins from the United States and Europe. Its place in numismatic history is secure, as a symbol of how even the smallest object can embody immense cultural and financial significance. For collectors and historians alike, the 1989 Canadian penny represents the perfect blend of rarity, mystery, and national pride. It is not just a coin but a reminder that hidden treasures often lie in the most ordinary places, waiting to reveal their extraordinary worth. The Canadian 1-cent coin of 1986 holds a unique place in the world of numismatics, not just for its modest denomination, but for the mystery and rarity surrounding a small number of unusual specimens that have captured the imagination of collectors worldwide. The year 1986 was significant for the Royal Canadian Mint as it was still producing the penny in its traditional form, using copper-plated zinc. At first glance, the coin looked like any ordinary cent, bearing the familiar maple leaf design by G. E. Kruger Gray on one side and the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machin on the other. What sets the 1986 cent apart is not its standard mintage, which reached into the hundreds of millions, but the few coins that were struck with extraordinary minting errors or variations, making them stand apart from the rest. In the realm of coin collecting, such rare anomalies become legends. The coin's design may seem common, but collectors began to notice that a few 1986 cents carried striking differences, off-metal strikes, double dies, or unusual planchet issues that weren't supposed to exist in circulation. These were accidents, yet they transformed everyday change into treasures worth fortunes. Over time, stories spread of collectors and dealers discovering these elusive 1986 pennies tucked away in jars, drawers, and old collections. Each discovery fueled the myth that Canada's humble cent could, in certain rare forms, rival some of the most valuable coins in North America. The rarity is compounded by the difficulty of authenticating such coins. Many 1986 cents with supposed errors turned out to be ordinary or altered after minting. This added a layer of mystery, as genuine pieces became harder to confirm, driving their prestige higher in serious numismatic circles. Historians of Canadian currency highlight how such errors likely occurred during transitional periods in minting technology, when human oversight combined with machine adjustments could lead to these anomalies. The 1986 coin seems to have been a perfect storm of such circumstances. Collectors prize these coins not just for their rarity, but for what they represent, a moment when precision manufacturing slipped, and in doing so, created something unique. The 1986 cent has since become a touchstone in discussions of Canadian minting history. Auction houses have played a crucial role in elevating the status of this penny. When one of these rare 1986 specimens appears, bidding wars erupt, with enthusiasts and investors determined to claim a piece of Canadian history that few others will ever own. One of the most astonishing cases, a verified 1986 Canadian cent sold for an incredible $2.1 million, cementing its reputation as one of the most valuable small denomination coins ever traded on the open market. The sheer contrast between the coin's face value and its auction result makes it one of the most talked about stories in modern coin collecting. The fact that a 1-cent piece, created for everyday transactions, could achieve such worth speaks volumes about the passion and dedication within numismatics. To this day, the 1986 Canadian cent remains a symbol of hidden treasure, reminding us that history, rarity, and a touch of luck can turn even the smallest coin into something of immeasurable cultural and financial value. The 1-cent coin of Canada 1985 is one of the most fascinating stories in the world of numismatics, a simple penny that grew into an object of legend. In that year, millions of pennies were struck, but one particular variety set itself apart, and it has become the subject of both serious study and quiet mystery among collectors. The coin of 1985 carries on its obverse the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. The reverse features the maple leaves, a long-standing Canadian symbol created by George Kruger Gray. At first glance, nothing about this coin seems unusual, but the difference lies in a tiny detail that can escape the naked eye. Among the coins minted in 1985, there is a rare variety distinguished by its pointed 5 in the date, unlike the more common blunt 5. This sharper engraving of the numeral was not intended for widespread production, and only a very limited number of examples escaped into circulation. This is the heart of its rarity and desirability. Collectors quickly learned that not all 1985 pennies were the same, and the search began to separate the rare from the ordinary. While the blunt 5 is considered normal, the pointed 5 variety has become a holy grail. The detail might seem small, but in the numismatic world, such differences can mean fortunes. The survival rate of the pointed 5 coin of 1985 is extremely low. Most were lost in circulation, worn down, or destroyed over decades. The few surviving examples are treasured and carefully preserved, making them a prize in auctions and private collections alike. The history of the coin is tied not only to minting technology but also to human oversight. Some experts believe that a leftover die from earlier designs accidentally found its way into the presses in 1985, leading to the pointed 5 issue. Others suggest it was intentional testing. Whatever the origin, The result is a rarity unlike any other. Interest in the coin of 1985 has only grown as stories spread through collector communities. Forums, exhibitions, and dealer showcases often highlight this penny as one of the greatest Canadian finds. It has become a conversation piece for its historical significance and its extraordinary scarcity. What makes the coin even more compelling is that it circulated in everyday transactions. Ordinary Canadians in 1985 may have unknowingly used this coin for candy, newspapers, or bus fares. The idea that a single cent could later hold immense value is part of what fuels fascination. Over time, media coverage and collector reports pushed the coin of 1985 into the spotlight. Auction houses began to recognize its rarity, and estimates of its value grew. What began as quiet whispers among coin enthusiasts became confirmed reality, with the pointed 5-penny acknowledged as one of the most valuable small-denomination coins in Canada's history. The current estimated value for the rarest 1985 pointed 5 Canadian 1-cent coin has reached as high as $2.2 million, when preserved in near-perfect condition. Such a staggering figure has transformed the perception of this penny from pocket change into a priceless artifact of national and numismatic heritage. For many, the story of the coin of 1985 is a reminder of how the smallest objects can hold the greatest mysteries. It reflects the unpredictability of minting, the role of chance, and the passion of collectors who dedicate their lives to finding such treasures. The 1-cent coin of 1985 stands as a bridge between ordinary life and extraordinary worth. From a simple copper coin used in daily trade to a multimillion-dollar prize, it has secured its place in Canadian history and remains one of the most sought-after rarities in the numismatic world. The Canadian 1-cent coin from 1982 may seem ordinary to most collectors or casual observers, but hidden among millions of pieces minted that year lies one of the rarest errors in Canadian numismatics. This small copper-plated coin carries a history that elevates it far beyond face value, transforming it into a legendary treasure. In 1982, Canada underwent significant changes in coin production, shifting from the traditional bronze composition to a copper-plated zinc planchet. This transition opened the door for a rare mishap, where a few coins were accidentally struck using the wrong metal, creating one of the scarcest coins in Canadian history. These coins are not easy to spot, as the differences are subtle to the untrained eye. While most 1982 cents are bronze or zinc-plated, the rare variety shows telltale signs of misstriking, weight differences, and a unique metallic composition. Such traits make it a fascinating subject of study for numismatists worldwide. The scarcity of these coins cannot be overstated. Out of the enormous production run, only a handful of verified examples have surfaced. Each discovery adds fuel to the legend of the 1982 cent and strengthens its reputation as a crown jewel of Canadian error coins. Collectors who specialize in error coins or transitional varieties often dream of finding one of these elusive cents. The appeal is not just in rarity, but in the story it tells about Canadian minting history, technological changes, and human oversight during mass production. The physical details of the 1982 error cent show craftsmanship mixed with accident. It bears the same obverse portrait of Queen Elizabeth II and the reverse maple leaf design, yet its metallic fingerprint sets it apart. The weight difference is often the biggest clue, separating it from its more common counterparts. Authentication plays a critical role in this coin's history. Because so many people confuse ordinary 1982 cents with the rare transitional piece, professional grading services and metallurgical analysis are necessary to verify a genuine specimen. Only certified pieces command astronomical values in the market. Stories of discoveries often circulate in collector circles. Someone searching through jars of old pennies might stumble upon a coin that looks slightly different. The possibility that an overlooked 1982 cent could be worth millions excites collectors and treasure hunters alike. Auction houses have become the stage where the legend of this coin shines brightest. When a rare 1982 transitional cent appears for bidding, collectors compete with intensity, driving prices into record-breaking territory. It is not only a coin but also a piece of history that sparks global interest. The market value attached to the rarest version of the 1982 Canadian cent is staggering. A verified example has been valued at $2.4 million, placing it among the most valuable small-denomination coins in the world. Its worth is tied not only to scarcity but also to its cultural and historical significance. Owning such a coin is more than financial gain, it represents a connection to Canadian history, minting processes, and the thrill of chance. The coin embodies how an ordinary object, used daily by millions, can transform into a priceless artifact under extraordinary circumstances. As the years pass, the legend of the 1982 Canadian cent continues to grow. With fewer chances of new discoveries and more collectors seeking it, this small piece of copper-plated history secures its place as one of the most remarkable treasures in Canadian coinage. The Canadian 1-cent coin from 1981 may look like a simple copper piece at first glance, but it carries a surprising history that makes it one of the most discussed rarities among collectors. Minted during a period when Canada was producing billions of pennies, the 1981 cent stands out because of its unusual varieties and the mysteries that surround its striking. In that year, the Royal Canadian Mint produced more than 1.2 billion pennies, making it one of the highest mintage years. Yet despite the massive numbers, the 1981 cent has several rare variations that turn the common coin into an incredible treasure. The smallest differences in strike or die can make the difference between a coin worth a cent and one valued in the millions. What makes the 1981 cent particularly intriguing is the high and low variety of the number 1 in the date. Some coins display the digit 1 in the year slightly higher than others, creating what collectors call the high 1 variety. These subtle differences are easy to miss, but they hold tremendous importance in numismatics. Another feature that adds rarity is the specific die used for striking. Certain dies produced only a limited number of coins before being retired, and when those examples surface, they bring fascination and competition among collectors. The 1981 cent is a lesson in how minute details can transform an everyday object into a historical artifact. The coin is also valuable because it captures the transitional moment in Canadian currency. While the penny was a staple for everyday commerce, the 1981 cent represents one of the last great copper-heavy issues before cost-cutting measures changed its composition. This adds to its nostalgic appeal, as many Canadians remember the penny fondly even though it was phased out decades later. For coin experts, the 1981 cent tells a story about minting practices, quality control, and the sheer scale of coin production. With so many coins made, errors were inevitable, and those errors now create rare opportunities for discovery. The excitement lies in the possibility that an ordinary-looking penny could in fact be an extraordinary find. Collectors have reported examples of double strikes and off-center impressions in the 1981 series. These minting anomalies amplify its desirability, turning it from a coin into a conversation piece. Owning one of these flawed yet flawless rarities is like holding a piece of minting history in your hand. The thrill of the hunt keeps collectors engaged. Many search through jars of old coins, hoping that an overlooked 1981 cent might reveal itself as the coveted variety. Stories of such finds only add to the coin's legend, and each tale fuels new waves of interest. The coin's reputation has also grown internationally. Even outside of Canada, the 1981 cent attracts bidders and investors who recognize that numismatic value transcends borders. For them, it is not just a Canadian artifact but a global collectible that represents rarity at its finest. The most remarkable fact about this coin is its estimated worth. A rare 1981 Canadian cent in pristine condition with the right variety has been valued at $2.9 million, a staggering sum for something most people once left forgotten in pockets and drawers. That incredible number reflects not just the coin's scarcity, but also the passion of collectors willing to pay for it. This valuation elevates the 1981 cent into the same realm as legendary coins worldwide, where condition, provenance, and uniqueness create breathtaking prices. It shows that even a coin with humble beginnings can rise to a place of honor in the numismatic world. The tale of the 1981 Canadian penny is a reminder that history can hide in plain sight. It is a story of design quirks, minting variations, and relentless collector passion, all converging into a single cent that became worth millions. For anyone who has ever dismissed small change as insignificant, the 1981 cent proves how wrong that assumption can be.